I heard someone mention Medford in a forum. It's the first high-end knife that I've ever come across that is also high-end functional.
One that I already like? That's hard. That's hard. If it's a Medford, it's already good.
This is a full thickness Marauder. It's my favorite knife I carry. The thicker knives that Medford offers are their calling point. That's why people like them. They're built like tanks.
Opening it is a lot smoother, and like it's a lot heavier than any knife I have. It feels like more durable too.
They're well built. They're precision knives, but that you can use every day, which I do.
I got my own little knife, my Slim Midi, just like the coolest thing ever. And so I became really obsessed with these little knives.
I'm carrying my brand new micro Praetorian TI, the 11th in existence, Vulcan blade, flamed show side, fade anno lock side, flamed 6-gun hardware, flamed popsicle clip. This is my mini grail right here. This is one of my favorite knives.
Probably 26. How's it going? How's the tool change for the 187 happening?
It's going good. I just checked everything on the plates after the pins are full.
The pins or the plate? Bosses. When are you going to push the pins in?
I'll probably be close to finishing, pushing the pin. So, first thing in the morning, probably qualifying. Right, I'll probably be a little bit early.
Okay.
Be in my zone. And
All right.
I foresee us qualifying.
All right, that would be good. That would get us 4 days ahead. Yeah, that's awesome. All right. Well, let's just keep doing this and surprise Paul, right? I'm recording for our show right now.
Swapping some pommels.
Making pommels for the USMC fighter? Cool. How many are you making?
I think I'm at like 20.
Oh, I'm total. How many?
Oh,
Over 100? Cool. Hey, Zach, how you doing? These guys treating you okay? You know everything you need to know with us?
sure. There's always something.
Are you learning new stuff? All right, cool. Is knife making easier or harder than you thought?
A lot more dimensions.
It's more dimensional, right?
Yeah, from what I'm used to. I mean, I ran the same operation for about 7 years, so it's...
Well, so at least a little more variety, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Well, it's a lot like making an aerospace part, more than it is a mining part.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, cool. Let me know if you need anything, all right? And what about eyeballs on you guys? You know I got Ocean going to be rolling through here pretty soon. Eyeballs, eyeballs. Even your creepy eyes. Because you're the boss and you haven't said anything over here. How you doing? Everybody treating you right?
Yeah.
You need anything at all?
No, well, I want to buy a knife for my dad for retirement.
Yep.
So I don't know how early I'd have to put that in.
Fucking soon, man. And it's 50% off. The employee discount is the best discount we have.
Well, his retirement's in July
Of this year?
of next year.
Oh, well, you have just enough time to do it now.
Really?
Yeah.
If you were wondering, he is looking at you.
All right, cool. Let's see what's going on. Come on, you guys. Alan, what's happening?
Grinding some smooth criminal blades.
We're shooting a little video right now, so say hey to everybody. It's a live video. And water jet's cranking away. What are you cutting on a water jet?
Some 187 DPs.
Oh, for the new run? All right, cool. S90V? Cool. And that stuff grinds like shit over here, right?
Yeah, it could be better.
Yeah.
It could be better.
You getting it figured out?
Yeah.
All right.
Getting her done either way.
All right. Let me know what you need from me, all right?
Sounds good.
All right, thanks, man. Watch your step. Hey guys, welcome back to MKTalk. We got a lot of stuff going on today. I wanted to, we're gonna do a little time with Jeff. Jeff's gonna tell you about some upcoming events. He's gonna talk to you a little bit about the Centurion thing. He's also gonna talk to you, we're gonna show you a little video about the Centurion thing that we put together. And then we're gonna tell you about the particulars on a knife giveaway we're doing this month that he's come up with. I think that's our Instagram knife giveaway. Then we're gonna spend a little time with Amy. She's gonna talk about some knives headed out to Germany. And then I'm gonna show you one of our little promotional docs. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that. And then I'm gonna interview one of our guys and just all kinds of stuff going on. So stick around for the show, it should be fun. I'm gonna invite you into a little slice of my day, come on. Hey, Billy, if you're listening, maybe you could grab my iPad and bring it out. So this is a table I made years ago when I first started the knife shop. Oh no, this is actually one of my Honeywell tables. This is a 3-ton bench. Never mind, that's one of my tables. A big part of what I do at any given time is why don't you come around over here? At any given moment, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to facilitate any little choke points in the whole company. So today I inspected about 150 knives over the course of the weekend. I shot a video, thank you very much. I shot a video during that time, and I thought it would be fun to let you guys see some of the kickbacks getting redone right now. So let's check this out. And I'm putting this here so that I can see any live comments from you guys. Reporting live from Spring. So let's say hi to everybody. Hey, Langston. Hey, Sammy. What's up, Greg? Greetings from Burlington, Ontario. Hey, Alan, Jay, Derek. Reporting live from Springfield. Al Peters. Let's see. Anyway, let me, while some people are kind of finding out that we're live, let me go through and talk to you about kind of the way I inspect stuff a little bit. And then I'll show you one of the projects I'm working on for the Commando Dagger. You know, the Commando is just coming around the final bend. It's just coming around the final bend. First thing I do is I flash the whole front of the knife in the light, make sure there are no blemishes, marks, scratches, or burrs. I look across the top of the center of the knife. I'm looking for tip center. I'm looking for no gaps or light. I try to do this in front of something white. I like to see that the gap between the blade and the handles is parallel. I drop to the spring side. I want to see that the clip is in kind of a pleasing position. Hey, Clifford. I want to look at all the spacers, and I look at all the screw heads to see if they're all sunk properly. I'll check the clip for tension, pressure, and lateral load. Check the shoulder pin for spacing. I usually do that from 2 directions. Then I'll break the blade. I want to feel it for lash. I want to break the blade. I want to feel it for side lash, detent ball lash, side lash. I want to feel the swing. And I feel the swing with a clitoral touch. Just gentle, not rough. Not when I start out anyways. Check it for lock rock. I like to feel the break of the lock. I like to listen to it. And I really want to have a visceral experience, so it's got this nice, there is a visceral sound, feel, and touch to our knives when you get your hands on them. This had side lash. Adam built this knife, my brother. It's marked, it's got his mark on it. I'm going to put my mark that I am approving it. Acceptable. So my mark goes on it, and now it goes in the inspected area. This is pretty standard. I do this on every single knife. We went through about 190 knives, and I had 15 kickbacks. This one's back for sticky. You'll see the note here. I want to feel it old man style. I want to feel it Greg Medford claw style. I want to look at the engagement. Sticky means this knife's entirely been apart, so it gets a fresh going over. So I've checked the thing that it's come back for, and it's passing really nicely at this point. Next thing I'll do is I'll give it my quick visual inspection. I can tell a lot from a knife by feel, look, and listen. Check it for rock, check it for top lash, bottom lash, feel the swing, feel the ball bearing, feel the engagement and the release, feel the release from the break of the lock. Does it have that kind of Medford knife customer experience I want when you crack it open? You know, it's easy when you're the new kid on the block, when you're the soup of the day, the ingenue, the soup du jour. It's easy to step in and blow everybody away, but what's really tough is 5 years, 8 years in to hopefully blow everybody away with quality. Hey, look, you know, I know my stuff's not for everybody. I know these big knives aren't for everybody. When I had a 3-year backlog and was going as fast as I could, why would I design anything else? And I spent a lot of time not really designing new stuff. It was mostly just kind of perfecting the craft and learning how to make better knives. Evidence to that is that my current knives are so much better than my original knives. This year's knives are better than last year's knives. They really are. But to do this year after year and keep people excited requires new designs. So you'll see a lot of new stuff coming into our kind of lexicon of our knife making. Why don't we do this? I think I've kind of covered everything I wanted to cover. Give you guys a little idea into what my day is like, part of my day anyways. I will, why don't I dive, let me show you how I do these sheaths for the Commando. Maybe you guys can check that out. And Kevin, why don't we do like a switch? You kind of swing around and I'll move over to here. So when this knife was originally done, the Fairbairn Sykes style dagger, it was done with a metal cuff around the end. And I wanted to do a blend of a 1960s, a 1960s/70s sheath that the Randall Company did, because I always loved their sheaths and their knives. Their cost always outpaced my income until just recently, and now I'm in, I'm not in the business of carrying other people's knives. But in any case, this knife was originally designed, it had a metal cup, or it had metal plates or stuff, various different versions you see of metal down on the end to stop a skinny dagger from poking down in here and going through the end of the sheath if it was bent or something like that and stabbing into somebody. So you can still be a monkey-fisted ding-dong and stab through the sheath and screw things up. But really what we want is we want you to feel that you're stabbing and kind of renegotiate. What we don't want is in a hurry stabbing yourself, and that's why we put the plates there. So what we did is we cut some titanium plates that fit into this pocket on the sheath. You can zoom in here a little bit if you like. So this fits in here nicely. And then for my aviation days, I've squeezed me a lot of rivets building yaks and building warbirds. I had a Yak 3 UPW. I had a Yak 50. And I had several Nanchang CJ6s and Champs and other type airplanes over the years. I was kind of a warbird style air show enthusiast. Flew around the country doing that. And right up to the point it got serious where I was going to start making some real money being a sponsored act and doing that dog and pony show. I kind of chose to get out of the business because I had kids. So you see we've got these two titanium plates. They're flush to the leather because they've been burned in here really nicely. We've put these rivets in the top and now we need to squeeze them. So this is a classic squeezer. It's got a divot on top and a flat plate on the bottom. So we want to push the rivet head into the divot. And I push on the back right here so that I can kind of load up as I squeeze the rivet. And you'll see the rivet, what it does is it pillows out, and as you squeeze it, it grabs onto this material and pinches it in. Do the same thing over here. I'm trying to show you a perspective on it. You can kind of see from the camera. You reach in. There's a lot of technique to holding these. Pull, push, grab, build a pillow, give it a squeeze, and you can see the edge in the light right here. It's drawn. It's actually drawn the material together. I really like this process. There's something almost kind of hypnotic about riveting. You see like many things become one. It's got a very alchemical feel to it. And then I've got this, I've got the depth set because I was doing these earlier. So they have this nice uniform pillow on the back. I'll give this a nice squeeze up to my top here. Now, I'm not going to do all these, all right? I'm going to leave these for one of my guys to do. But the first 10 or so of them, I wanted to get my hands on them and kind of do the, shake out the process a little bit. Now you've got these nice, riveted, it's got a beautiful look that matches the brass and has this kind of sumptuous 1940s feel. And what I really wanted to, I want you to be transformed when you hold one of these knives. I want you to feel what I felt when I drew it and when I held it the first time, and have a kind of minor transformative experience by holding on to something that's been made with so much love and care and craftsmanship. Well, listen, we're gonna jump away from here, take a quick break, and we're gonna look at what's going on with the USMC Fighter. Had a lot of people ask me about it. It's been a hot fixed blade this year. So why don't we dive into that? You guys check out this little technical promo video we made for it. When we get back from that, we're gonna visit with Jeff. We're gonna talk about a lot of cool upcoming events and stuff. So just enjoy the video. Keep throwing your questions down at the bottom, and I'll try to get to them as we come back on anything that's kind of interesting, poignant. Remember what they said back in first grade. Now feel free to ask questions, because if you're thinking of it, 4 other people are too. All right, so we're gonna head over right now to the USMC Fighter video. Check it out, let me know what you think. It's got all of the styling and informed construction from stuff we saw in the late 60s and 70s. It's my own design of Sheath, but it's really informed and has the sentiment of that feel and quality from that era. It's got the very best of modern materials and technology and knife making, informed by the style and sentiment of something from the 1930s and 40s. You'll see we've gone with a modern drop point instead of a clip point, 1/4 inch thick S35 VN powder American made steel. It's got 6CL4V titanium components, solid titanium pommel, 2-piece titanium hilt, and solid G10 3D textured and surfaced controlled milled handle scales with a full tang with no constriction as this 2-piece hilt. It's one of the big innovations of the knife. Slide in around 2 very small radiuses, which keeps the constriction of the knife into the handle absolutely 0 to minimum. So this is a full solid piece of steel from stem to stern for the penultimate strength. Guys, you're back with me. I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think down in the comment section. Now we're gonna jump in for 120 with Jeff. Now, he likes to drive fast. He's a Porsche, BMW, bike, lunatic. He's a speed demon. He actually made it across town yesterday in like 12 minutes, which is impossible without an airplane, except then you'd have to land and waste all that time. So we're gonna go 120 with Jeff, and also it'll be about 2 minutes. So let's poke our head in, interrupt his day. Hey Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey Greg, how you doing?
Good, good, good. So
are we live?
We're live.
Great. My favorite.
I know you love this. So listen, I wanted to ask you about a couple of things. So tell us the next show we're going to. What's up with the next show?
Yeah, we're heading to Blade Show West, which is coming up in just a few short weeks. It's October 5th through 7th. We're real excited about it. Most of you folks know about Blade Show that's been going on for I think about 40 years in the East Coast in Atlanta that we went to in June. It's up in Portland, Oregon, and we're real excited about it. We're going to be up there for 3 days at booth 321, so come out and join us at Blade Show West in Portland.
Awesome. Now listen, you fucking hippies who like knives, you come on out too. Now if you're a libtard, well that's okay. We'll let you buy a knife too. And hopefully the knife will butch you up a little bit and you'll be ready for the real world after a little while carrying a knife. Jeff, let's talk about the next thing on my agenda with you today.
And we can't carry firearms there, unfortunately. There's no reciprocity.
Wait a minute, we can't carry. Oh, I actually have a security detail following us because I will be wearing my MAGA hat.
Okay, great.
Okay, the next thing I want you to do is, you know, a lot of guys have joined into the Centurion Club and they're new to it and they don't know what's coming. So can you get the guys a quick 30-second pitch on the Centurion Club? And what we're gonna do is we put together a little video about it.
Okay.
We'll give us your little take on it, what the pros and cons of it are, and then we're gonna jump over the video.
Okay, a couple quick things. One is, in order to become a Centurion member, you actually enroll through Medford University. I guess at a high level, it's really an experts academy. You and I and Billy have been working on this content for months about a way for our very best customers who want to engage with us at another level other than just like a VIP club like lots of other manufacturers probably have. So there's exclusive content. There are VIP knife discounts and access. As some of you know that are already members, I think we have over 100 plus graduates. We had a couple of very exclusive knives that just dropped to that group and that group only. And they got purchased, so there's a lot of benefits from education to engagement to discounts and to VIP access to events and knives. That's how I would summarize it.
It's hard to overstate how it turned out differently than we expected. You know, I thought it was going to be letting people know about the brand, and it turned into this whole social component that I wasn't quite prepared for. And frankly, it's the coolest part of the whole thing.
It is cool.
Because I kind of always like going to knife shows. I like getting my brand out there, letting people see the look on their face when they see my stuff. But to see so many guys who are becoming friends of ours, not just people we do business with, it's pretty fun. It makes it a lot more fun. Meeting up with those guys in Vegas, meeting up with the Centurion guys at Blade Show, it made it 10 times more fun with me.
Yeah, and then for our next upcoming event, you know, Centurion 1 was a wonderful experience. We've got Centurion 2, which I believe is sold out. You know,
and when is
April. It's April 5th, 6th, and 7th of 2019. First week of April.
I think we had one opening pop up for that one.
Oh, we did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that won't take long.
Okay, so when is that again?
First week of April, as long as that's not Easter.
So first week of April of 2019. So just so you guys know, and as we get a little closer, as we come around the bend.
April 5th, 6th, and 7th. Centurion 2 here in Arizona.
Good. Now, let's take a quick pause. I'd like you guys to jump over to a little video about the Centurion Club. When we're back from that video, which is about 2 minutes and 20 seconds, when we get back, Jeff and I are going to talk to you about the next knife giveaway he's concocted. So we are doing another giveaway this month. Why don't you guys check the thing out about the Centurion. If you're already a Centurion, you're going to see yourself in the video. If you're not a Centurion, check it out. You know, anybody who knows me and knows this whole thing, they know that they meet me and they go, God damn, dude, you're exactly the same as on camera. I got no fucking huckster in me. All I can do is tell you guys what I do, and a lot of people fall in love with it because it's pretty genuine, it's authentic, and I've got a huge passion for what we do. And I think that comes through with everybody that works here. So get ready to check it out, the Centurion Club, and I'll see you in 2 minutes. The Centurion program was a structured way to invite friends of the shop in, people that want to know more about us, people that want to know more about what we do or connect with us because maybe they've watched the videos and they want to see if it's real. You know what we want to do is we want to kind of blow them away with camaraderie, we want to blow them away with friendship, and we want to connect with them. It's not really about selling knives, it's about selling a belief system and a value system. And when we connect with people that way, there's no sales pitch required. It's authentic. They get to know us, we get to know them, and then what happens is, what's transformative about it, I think, is the get-togethers. So now we've done this a couple of times, and we send out we hoist the flag, so to speak. We hoist up the skull and crossbones. Hey guys, we're gonna be at Blade Show. Anybody who's coming? And so our first gathering, we had a small number of folks. We had almost that many people come to the dinner. So we're sitting at the dinner with these Centurion members, and everybody's breaking bread, and everybody's talking about jobs and professions and families, and they know each other. And now, it's not taking a day or two away from your wife and your kids to go to a knife show. It's meeting up with people you know and kind of having a social connection where it all starts to come together. And that's really, you know, that's to me the most interesting and exciting part of the entire Centurion program is the social connection. So now these guys, they show up to a knife show. They show up to the show in California, or the show in Atlanta, or the show in Oregon, or the show in Las Vegas, and they're not one dude walking around trying to connect and say hi to a bunch of knife makers. They've got a knife maker who's a friend and a bunch of like-minded guys they've met before, and then they all troop around like a bunch of friends who've all met up. It's almost like a reunion. So it makes it a lovely, fun environment, and I think it gives us the kind of deep brand connection that over the course of 50 years makes a company, makes a brand, and can change the world a little tiny bit. And that was the whole kind of zeitgeist behind putting it together and going through the effort. All right, guys, we're back. Come on over here. We're back. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. We had a great time. You know what's funny is we're sitting here watching the video, and we've got a knife actually on the table for one of the guys in the video. So Jeff's standing and holding a knife, and it's getting ready to head out to them. Hey, we've decided we're going to kind of start making giveaways a little bit more a regular part of our routine. This isn't like a right to buy. This isn't a, you know, allow you to be friends with us. This isn't some hokey bullshit. We just want to give away a knife. We feel really blessed by the knife world, the knife community, and the business in general, and this lovely, lovely country that's taking such good care of us. I think we just thought it would be a fun thing to engage everybody instead of some kind of hokey thing. Let's give away some multi-$100 coolness. And Jeff, on that word, it's over to you. Tell us what's going on this month. What's the giveaway?
All right. Well, we've got a lot of exciting news to share. First, last week we had a milestone that we achieved. We hit our 25,000th Instagram follower, and as many of you know, we've been on social media for a number of years. In the last, hopefully 6 to 9 months, you've noticed a new level of engagement from really the full team here, both in content and engagement. Real excited about it. So we passed our 25,000 Instagram follower. So with that, we wanted to reward the folks that helped us get there. So this week, there's going to be a post that's going to get put up. It's going to have details about the contest we're running. These are the available knives. Actually, all the knives you see here are immediately available. And yes, for those of you that know our lineup well, you'll see there's a Praetorian tie in there. We're basically going to decide which knife category to pull from. That's right. based on the number of likes that we get. So what I would encourage folks to do is when you see the post, you will tag someone in the post. That's how you enter. And then ideally, the more people that like it, the higher level knife that we're going to choose for our giveaway. So these are the knives that are available. And we want to thank you, our Instagram followers, for helping us cross the threshold of 25,000.
All right, you know, unlike some guys that got started after the Instagram thing, I jumped on Instagram and Facebook years ago before it really was anything. I'm not saying I'm Al Gore or anything, but I didn't jump into it after it had kind of turned into a way you do business. I just thought it was kind of a fun way to reach out to everybody. And honestly, I said, God damn, I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. So it was the only way I could reach out to people. But as it turned out, it ended up being a useful business tool. So hot damn, look at us using the automobile and the telephone. Cool piece of technology, and we haven't been, you know, I use it kind of one-dimensionally. I use it like a human being. We use it to reach out to you guys. I suppose if we were a little, there's a lot of things we could do to huckster up and get more, and I don't want more, I want real.
Right.
I want more real, but I don't just want more for the sake of more.
Yeah, more is easy.
Yeah, more is easy. More real is authentic. And, you know, as much stuff as we put out there, and as I transitioned away from kind of being YouTube-centric into this, I might have been a little late exploding into the whole Instagram thing, but it seems like we got a solid footing. Everybody knows we're there.
Yeah, no, it's been a powerful tool, and I think many people would agree that we've stepped up our game, both, like I said, in content and in the quality of our feedback and engagement, and that's been really meaningful for us. Not so much from a sales perspective, more about letting people see our brand, see our work, and really connect to us in a preferred method, which is them reaching out to us through Instagram.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of people are getting to watch, you know, like a lot of people have watched me go from being business baby to like running a company. And this, I think it's, for me, it's an interesting case study from the window looking in, like watch a guy go from being in his fucking garage to the way we roll now. It's just a totally different animal.
Well, it's been fun.
So anyways, Jeff, thanks for the breakdown. And you know, as you guys see these creative things come along, Jeff's thinking about like how we can engage more, and he's really plugged into the different types of media that people are plugging into, reaching into the knife world. And we're trying to meet you guys at least halfway while I'm drawing next year's knives. I've got 12 really fantastic models for 2019, which I think are going to be fantastic. So what we'll do now, we're going to step away from the Jeff and Greg show and go over to the Amy show. Amy is going to take you through a bunch of stuff headed off to Germany. And who is it going to? It's going to, to Battle Merchant. It's going to Battle Merchant in Germany. So unsere deutsche Freundin, guten Tag und guten Abend, wie geht's? Enjoy.
I wanted to talk close up about a group of knives headed to Germany. We have a micro Praetorian, several Genesis in all titanium, a couple Genesis in G10, emboulet, the 2 new configuration, the blade steel option and finishes for the Marauder H. If you do a Tonto, it's S35, the 3V is a drop. And then the last thing we'll talk about today are the comparison between the H and the Fat Daddy. So these are headed to Battle Merchant in Wacken, Germany. Probably Wacken. Sorry, Dirk. Dirk is my contact at Battle Merchant. Website's battlemerchant.com. If there's any missing information, go to the website under where to buy. But let's talk more importantly about what we have headed out. So originally Battle Merchant had ordered 2 Fat Daddies, and when the order came through, as we were on our last run of Fat Daddies, I consulted with them and said that we have to make the second one a TFFH. So I'll be curious to hear when these knives make it to Dirk and his company, what they think about the comparison between the two. I mean, I know what I feel. People who love the Fat Daddy and don't want anything else. They don't want to be talked out of it. They don't want to compromise and do anything else. That being said, I think the majority of the public would probably embrace the fact that the blade thickness is much leaner, so it's obviously a better carry. Both have been PVD coated, both have S35, and they're in the same configuration. So I'll be curious to hear when it makes it his way. The two Marauder H's here, it shows the two, like I mentioned, the two blade finish and steel options for the Marauder H. If you do a 3V, it's PVD drop point. You can also do a tumbled PVD. Actually, this is tumbled PVD. Sorry. And the S35 comes in Tonto. And that, Tonto. PVD on the handle and spring for both. Tumbled titanium clip on both. The emboulet is all tumbled PVD S35 blade. And not very many of the emboulet have made it to Germany, so I'm curious about that one as well. The Praetorian Genesis, both here are with S35. One's a Tonto tumbled. And you really can't see the difference, I think, even on screen. You see all of the highly textured marks on the blade, which help to camouflage and conceal any nicks, scratches, or marks. This one's a satin drop point with a tumbled spring and tumbled spring. Awesome. Praetorian Genesis all titanium T with titanium PVD hardware and breaker. You can really see the tumbled on this PVD. I have a feeling that this is an older PVD generation because you can see how much that it has abraded. The new PVD coating we have is much more resilient and just does not abrade like this. So while it looks cool, you can revel in the fact that our new PVD process is so resilient it'll be able to handle just about everything. S35 satin blade on this all titanium, all tumbled, kind of Terminator style. 3V, now both of these were ordered with abalone finish, and here's another example of how ruddy the PVD coating is. If you've seen our videos and seen the abalone finish before, you, I'm sure, would have noticed that the colors are brilliant and green and very vivid. And the PVD is almost resilient, or that's not the word. Dang it! But the flaming doesn't take very well on the handles. As I move it around, you probably catch a little bit of color, but for the most part, it blends right into the PVD. 3V drop point, all titanium PVD hardware on both, and clip. So even if you can't see the abalone too much, the blacked out configuration is wicked cool. This one we added a little bit of bling to it. It's got bronze polished perimeters on it, so it has a little added flair to it. And then the last knife going to battle is a micro Praetorian T D2 tumbled drop point, flamed handle, and actually this might have been one of the last knives that we let through with a flamed spring. So this has both flaming on the handle and spring. All right, so check out Battle Merchant, see if there's anything that you have to have in Germany. Not too many resellers anymore carrying stuff for Medford Knife and Tool direct in Germany. So reach out to Dirk, and I believe Tobin is another contact there at Battle Merchant. Check out our website if you have any questions. And till the next time, I'm out.
Hey guys, holy smokes, that's a lot going on really fast. So we're back here in the office. You know, I thought a lot of people ask me, they ask about this guy, they ask about that guy, they ask about people in the shop. I thought what we would do this at this juncture is, you know, we'll try to do this every show, is see if we can pull in somebody from the shop. I invited Kieran to step in with us because he's new. Because we talk and he seems pretty fun and relaxed, chatting with me. A lot of guys boss up. And I like him. He's a former Marine, and I just thought it would be a kind of a nice, you know, if I bring in one of the other new guys, I've got my brother, and who, you know, I was like, oh, he's bringing his brother in for an interview. Or bringing in Manny, and, you know, Manny's, you know, he's great, but I don't know how he's going to be on camera. But I thought my intuition was that you'd be good on camera, so. Anyways, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
So it looks like you smashed your longboard yesterday. Was that yesterday or when was it?
That was Friday and Saturday. I destroyed both of it.
So it was awesome. Do you drive to work sometimes, or do you drive to work sometimes? Or
I drive to work most times.
Or do you always board?
I always drive. I used to board here all the time. Now I just board on the weekends.
All right. And are you? Did you move closer, or are you moving closer, or are you moving? What's the deal?
I'm still on 43rd now, but I'm be moving closer here, actually across the highway this weekend, and I'm moving into my own place. So.
Nice. All by yourself?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a nice step.
Thanks to you.
Good. When did you get out of the Marine Corps?
I got out of the Marine Corps October 17th, 2017.
All right. So you've been out just under a year. And what have you been doing most of the time you've been out?
Since I've been out, I've been still working as a bike mechanic for motorcycles, quads, a lot of entrepreneurial work. Before I came here to Medford, I was working, just living on my own and just doing bikes nonstop. So I've always enjoyed that. It's always been my professional career, even before the military. While I was still in, I still worked part-time at BME Cycles in Oceanside, right near Camp Pendleton. So that's been a
lot of crotch rockets.
Crotch rockets, a lot of Harleys, and a lot of off-road.
What you like better, working on rice grinders or on Harleys?
I like working on my rice rockets. I like riding my Harleys, but then I like going on the weekends off-road.
So you're just a contrarian motherfucker, aren't you? Because you're like, black guy that longboards, fucking works on knives, which is about the most Bubba White guy job ever, and then riding Harleys. That's the hat trick of contradictions. I knew he was out on his longboard in town because Arizona white people were freaked out seeing a black guy on a skateboard, and there were crashes all over town in his area.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Did some downhill this weekend on some mountains, doing about 50 or 60, so it was a good time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's how I got all this.
Where were you downhilling?
Moon Mountain.
You're kidding? Yeah. On a board?
Yep.
That's batshit crazy.
It's a good time.
Hold on a second. I have to get a drink out of my non-sponsor Leopold cup so everyone can see it.
Oh, there's no bottle of water.
Tell me a little bit about where did you grow up before high school?
South Carolina, Charleston.
All right. Were you living in New York before that?
No.
Did you ever live up north?
Nope. Visited up north once a year.
So where were you born?
South Carolina, Charleston.
So born and lived in Charleston.
Yep. Roper St. Francis Hospital in downtown Charleston.
Holy smokes! And then you just thought it would be a great idea to go in the Marine Corps.
Yes, let's say that.
Okay. All right, and you did you do aviation stuff in the Marine Corps?
Aviation Communications Systems Tech, so airwing communications on the ground. So it was a good time. 5 years.
I'm so glad that I was in the infantry because I don't have to even explain what shit is. I go, I was in the infantry.
Yeah, that's nice though. That must be pretty nice about it because working in the air wing was a good time.
Let me
go ahead and get that.
Stop that from happening. I don't know why that's. Hopefully it's still filming us.
More than likely.
I hope so.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. Okay. We had a little glitch. Sorry, guys. Little technical difficulty. We are back. So, I guess you Charleston, Marine Corps. You got out of the Marine Corps and then back to here.
I did.
Or out to here for the first time.
Yep. So I came from Charleston. I went to North Carolina during high school. I enlisted there my last year of high school. Worked, became an actual bike mechanic. I ride now actually in North Carolina. Left, went to the Marine Corps, stationed on Camp Pendleton, where I met some of my Marine Corps buddies out here from Arizona. So that's why I just recently moved here to Arizona when I got back.
Okay, cool. So let me ask you, I want to fire a couple of questions off at you. We got another camera going, so you're good, don't worry.
Go.
So a couple of questions. When you got out of the Marine Corps, what made you decide to come to Arizona?
So when I got out, I drove home from LA all the way to South Carolina. So I stopped in every city to see my friends, everyone I served with. No kids and no wife, so I figured which city did I like best because I wanted to change the lifestyle. I'm pretty nomadic by nature. I guess someone called it a wanderlust. But so I wanted somewhere in between California, but in between home as well. So I like Arizona's pretty nice, so I stopped here last year and took a liking to it, stayed for a week, went home, thought about it, and here I am.
Okay. Let me holler over here. It's a live, unscripted show, and it's a little underproduced right now. Hey, Billy, what's going on?
Got it. Underproduced.
Did you put it on Do Not Disturb?
No.
What, can you do that while we're here?
It was already on there.
It started ringing, and that's why it stopped.
Yeah, but I don't.
Try it. Just try it.
Just log in if I am.
Okay, log us back in. I think. maybe stick by here until we start to wrap it up, if you don't mind. And that way, if it goes kooky again, maybe you could. All right, cool. Oh, do you want to maybe put that on as our main camera?
It is the main camera.
Oh, it is. I know, but it only shows me, right? Yeah, it looks really weird. It's just been sitting here focused in on me while he's talking.
Oh, I thought that was on this one.
Billy?
There you are, Greg.
Hey, there we go. Sorry, guys, couple technical glitches with this first live show. Multi-camera, it's a lot going on all at once. All right, so we're good to go?
Yeah.
All right. I have no idea if that worked or not, so I'm just going to sit back and relax and chat with you.
All right.
So you had a little wanderlust, and no kids, no wives, so like, hey, let's go check some stuff out. And did you have some guys you were in the military with that were here in town?
I did. One person here from Arizona, so and he's actually ended up being one of my best friends in Mastery over at Camp Pendleton, my unit, and is one of my only friends, and he was from here, so he got out a year before me because he had a 4-year contract.
And what's he doing out here?
He's a security, armed security, so out here.
Now, was he the guy that I met out on the site? That was a different fellow.
Yeah, that was Dylan. He's already actually back in North Carolina.
He's back in North Carolina?
Yep.
So he just came out here visiting, and he was thinking about staying, but nothing stuck?
I wouldn't say it that way. I'd say it's kind of the opposite. He thought it was going to be a lot easier than it was, and a lot of people don't realize what it takes to make it sometimes.
I mean, you got to hustle in this town, huh?
Yeah, it's one of those things you can't sit around. I mean, you have to go get it.
There's a lot of opportunity here, but there's not a lot of social net. I mean, you got to fucking light an ass. You got to light fire under your ass out here, or
you do. You have to.
Get
Anywhere
left
you
by
go.
the curb. Yeah. So, how long you been now in the company?
2 months, almost 2 months.
All right, and tell me how's it been, kind of coming into this? Give everybody a little idea what it's like coming in and learning a new craft completely from start. Is it harder or easier than you thought it was going to be?
A lot more challenging than I thought it was going to be. Because you see knife maker, you look at the company, you think, okay, yeah, I get what they do. It's probably just, you think of what's normal, which is the mass production, just a bunch of mills and people standing around assembling and just kicking them out, almost like a factory, just like a regular factory, just get them out, pump them out, and very rarely quality control. And it's the exact opposite. It's more meticulous here than a lot of the work I've done in the military, especially on the air wing side. I mean, it's all communications. A lot of the work is meticulous. If a net goes down, you can't talk to an aircraft or to another unit. And that's meticulous work that kind of gives you that same kind of feel here, where you feel that pressure with almost like it's definitely a trade skill, but learning it, I mean, here with you, because you're always there a lot of times, and any issue we have, and I've talked to Manny and some other guys about it, that we appreciate that, even when it gets hard, that you aren't one of those guys or those bosses that come in and don't show you what to do. I mean, if something's wrong and it's an issue with one thing, we'll come in and we get a whole PME and a whole hip-hop class on how to fix it, and then keep moving forward. So
now we jumped on that shit this morning, huh?
Oh yeah.
What were we talking about this morning?
This morning, mine was progression and bottom lash. I think Manny was doing his springs too stiff to get rid of lock rock.
Yeah, he had a couple of things. Yeah. Well, it's just one of those things. Hand making craftsmanship can drift, or we can have a day where our hands are tired, and all of a sudden you have a bunch of. The next day you have a bunch of failures for lash because your hands were just too weak to feel it. So it's one of those things you got to kind of be on. And if I turn the reins over to someone else, the next guy who's going to do what I do is one of you guys in there. It'll be somebody who's kind of a master builder who can sit down and really quickly go, oh, here's what's wrong. Boom, 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 jump right into it.
Absolutely.
Have you felt pretty welcomed by everyone here?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, absolutely.
Believe it or not.
Coming into the company, I was like, it's probably going to be those ones and twosies that may not say anything about it. And
about what?
My race. Because there are some people who are like,
being human?
Yeah, that too.
Yeah?
Yeah, African American. But
the black elephant in the living room, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it that, but
okay.
But I mean, even to be honest about it, coming in, it's almost to be expected from my end of the state, especially coming from the southeast part of the country, especially South Carolina, which is the Confederate capital of the world. I mean, everyone, if you're from there, there's kind of a gray line that no one really crosses and becomes norm. Which is kind of sad. I mean, because being in California, I mean, I felt the exact opposite.
There's a racial expectation, you mean,
absolutely,
in South Carolina.
Absolutely.
Hey, and listen, no poison on you old boys from South Carolina. I've been around in South Carolina too, and I said, oh, this is interesting. So there's definitely something there. I mean, people who haven't lived down in the South, they don't really get it. And it's in a few places in the South, and it's a little bit everywhere in the South, and it's a lot in some places in the South. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, because I've felt it, you know, and I'm fucking, you know, white boy walking into it, you know, and I mean, I've been called like fast talking Yankee, and, you know, like I've been called a northern agitator. Like, northern agitator? What kind of northern agitator? I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I've heard like the Northern War of Aggression. You sound like one of them fast talking Yankees from New York sent down here. What are you down here for, boy? Carpetbag? And I'm like, actually, I'm just want to stop and get some beer because I'm going to spring break in Florida. If I could just get some beer, I'll be on my way. Can we have our women? I mean, you know, come on.
Yeah, it sounds about like it.
Okay. Is that part of the reason? Did you leave the South consciously? I mean, your mom and dad are still there, right?
My father's actually both of them now are in North Carolina.
Okay. So, and they've kind of come to terms with that, or is it like a little? Are they just so entrenched in life there they wouldn't leave that? Or I mean, do you? Did it play partly into you ending up here in Arizona?
Not at all. I probably get it from my mother though, because she's from New York. So I think we've had that conversation. Born and raised in New York, so. But she moved down to the South when she was way in her 20s and late 30s.
Wow.
So she loves it in the South compared to the New York. But my father's always been the same way. He's from South Carolina and moved to North Carolina. He's actually born and raised in Charleston. That entire side of my family is from there. But they've always encouraged me to get out and travel abroad. Always brought me places. Been to Canada. I mean, before the Marine Corps, I'd probably been to 4 or 5 different countries before the Marine Corps. I mean, we've always traveled a lot as a family. So
cool. I don't want to ask you too much private stuff because, you know, it's not our business. Not everybody
Well, here's my
business.
social.
And then you've got a bunch of siblings also, right?
3.
Okay, cool.
I'm the youngest.
You know, it's interesting. We might as well chat about it because it's definitely been thrown in my face numerous times. I've definitely, if you watch my videos and you hear my language, I've had so many people come up to me to like give me a fucking talking to, and from watching my videos, like they're gonna fucking set me straight.
Oh, are they now?
And it's always upper middle class white people. They're gonna fucking square me away. They're gonna virtue signal me how much of a racist asshole I am and how they're not. And it's a really weird paradox for me to deal with because I'm sitting here going, look, I'm totally a racist. I acknowledge it. I have all of these things that pull at me that, you know, like I have these instincts that pull me in one direction. I have my brain that pulls me in another direction. And I think if people are honest with themselves, I think a lot of people, I mean, there are things that biases that we learn, and there are biases we have, and there are biases get handed down to us. And like I struggle with them, you know, I struggle with them because it's easy to just go, oh, that's the way those people are, or it's, those people are that way. My people aren't that way. It's easy to do that. That's almost the chicken way to deal with the racial thing. Is to just draw your lines and just be done.
Indeed, it is.
And there's another way that's much harder because there's a grind to it. Because in any group of people, you've got people who are more successful and less successful. And it's something, you know, you being here, I think I was talking about it with my dad at breakfast yesterday because I have breakfast with my dad every Sunday. And my dad said that you're my black angel. And we were talking about it. And I was saying, you know, he's confronting the shit out of some of my internal judgments I have about people. And, you know, the outward, you know, upwardly mobile white guy wants to hire the black guy because, you know,
good on you, right?
Good for me, right?
Yeah, you did your part.
But I'm not like that.
Not
I'm
at
like,
all.
no, fuck no, I don't like that guy. I'm not like that. I liked you and clicked with you because I sensed you were a good human being and you were a former Marine and all that. But I got confronted by a Jewish guy because I have used the word Jew before. Not in a negative way. I would just say, instead of saying, you're thinking of that, say, right? instead of saying the person of Jewish descent, I was saying, no, that guy's a Jew. And it's jilting for people to hear that. And I'm like, I guess, I don't know if I'm doing it on purpose or not doing it on purpose, but I'm like, I don't see that as a negative. The guy is a Jew. I didn't say he's being a Jew. I said he's a Jew.
You're identifying him.
Yeah, a little bit.
Nothing wrong with that, though.
But if a dude's got a shirt 4 buttons unbuttoned with a big Star of David, and
he might be a Jew.
He might be a Jew. He might not be embarrassed about it. Well, so I had this guy totally get all up in my shit at Blade Show, and he was pretty nice, and I've met him before, and it was such a weird thing because he said, I've heard from numerous places you're a complete racist, and he goes, and I've met you before, and you didn't come off that way. But when the other people told me you were, I was surprised, and I wanted to come talk to you because I've heard you, I've watched some of your videos, and I've seen you say some stuff. And I go, so what do you mean? And so he kind of came at me, and then I talked to him a little bit. He goes, gosh, I don't know why people think you're racist. I go, well, I am a little bit, and I struggle with it all the time. Talk to me about that a little bit.
So on the opposite end of that, I can understand that coming from your point of view because everyone jokes about that kind of stuff and say to me, and I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little racist, obviously, because of the things and situations you've been through in life that lead you to be who you are now. So, I mean, like you said, there are things that are passed down from your family. They're just things you pick up that are kind of always be there. Like me and some other friends talked about this weekend who are, I mean, not a lot, but we talked about some things and had some really good conversation on what it's like to grow up on the very real side of growing up as, you know, a black man in the South and what he grew up as, you know, as a white man on the West Coast. And we came to an understanding of just talking over the course of hours and hours what it's like. And from both sides of it, everyone's going to have their prejudgments, obviously, about it and their ideas.
Do you ever wish you were just white so you didn't have to fucking be an emissary for...
Yeah, sometimes I do, actually. Sometimes I wouldn't... I guess
like, so I don't have to have this. Like, why does Greg have to have this thing with me?
Oh, this is fine by me. But it's more in the moments in life where people take it for granted, I suppose, and not being white, but just not being being different in a sense that people see as a lesser way, or people have an idea of who you are just because of the way you look. So we've talked about it, and in my real honest opinion of it, everyone's going to have their things. Everyone's going to have their little issues and their little bigots and this, that, and the other. But the choice is how you deal with it. And I'll never know what it's like to be a guy who just, you know, driving down the road, you can get pulled over and have no issue. And then some people will argue, oh, come on, it's not that serious. But I mean, there are times where, of course, you may not think that, or vice versa. Right. But, you know, like when me and Manny were just talking about like the Trayvon Martin incident. Oh, I never heard Trayvon Martin. And I was like, what?
Why the fuck did he not hear of that?
I was like, how you never heard of it? Like,
so let me ask you something, because I was thinking about this yesterday. I was thinking about it a lot. Because, you know, I've been rolled up on by cops a bunch of times. I've been hit by cops. In the last 5 years, I've had guns stuffed in my face by cops on 2 occasions.
Oh, wow.
So I guess, I guess what I wanted to ask you was, do you, if you're in a foreign town, let's say you're in a part of LA you're not familiar with, and you're trooping around and you see a bunch of black guys in a little crew a ways down the sidewalk, or you got to go and they got a little gangster look to them, like these dudes don't have jobs, they're not on the way to anywhere, their job's hanging out right there and you don't know what they're up to. Honest question. Do you get a little like pitter patter of like how to handle yourself so that it's going to go well and you walk on? I mean, does that ever tickle across you?
That's happened. I mean, it's happened, but to me, that sort of thing doesn't bother me because and it may be hard to believe. Some people don't know where I come from, but the areas I'm from aren't very prim and proper areas. So that kind of thing is actually normal and comfortable for me, believe it or not. So when the people see me go in transition from, hey, Greg, let's go, you know, talk business and talk politics, and we go hang out in Crenshaw or down, in, you know, in Memorial Gardena, and we go down there and, you know, at 3 in the morning with a bunch of black people, and I'm having a great time, and you're uncomfortable. I'm like, oh, man, I didn't know you did this kind of stuff. Like, yeah, man, I'm just, believe it or not, I mean, I'm black, so.
So when you, like
well, not that kind of stuff, but I'm comfortable around, it's kind of sad to say I'm comfortable around any black person or any person for that matter, honestly.
All right, so I'll tell you my perspective, and it's a little different flip on it, obviously. Okay, if I see a group, if I'm walking through the back hollers of West Virginia, and this happened to me, and I see a group of good old white boys with their shirts off, and like something sticking out of their mouth, they got their hats all turned up, t-shirts in their back pocket, and they're kicking back on a broke down pickup truck next to a little convenience store that I'm walking up to. And as I come walking up, one of them with his head down, his lips move, and they all look to me. And they all look back down, and they all talk, and then the group shifts a little bit. It's white guys. I'm uncomfortable as fuck, and I walk right into it, because I'm uncomfortable in this way. I'm on alert, and something's getting ready to happen.
Hey Greg, it's Sammy's birthday. Jeff thought we could do something live on camera.
Well, we can't do it now. It's too late. So we're in the middle of the show, and we were going to do. Is it already 3:30?
I don't know.
Well, what I was going to do was I told everybody what we were going to do earlier, so we're not doing it right now. We're going to do it in a little bit. What the fuck are you going to do? I'm going to get but so like I don't get worked up, but I'm like, okay, here it goes. And I've had the same thing happen. Now Harlem's all gentrified and cool now, but I got stuck in Harlem one time as the sun was going down while I was doing a journalism conference at Columbia University. It's right on the edge of Harlem, and it was rough back in the late 70s or early 80s. And I kind of approached it the exact same way, although I was considerably younger then. I wanted to show no weakness, hold my head up, handle myself politely to everyone, said hello to everyone, and I was definitely in their territory, and they definitely knew I was out of place, and they're definitely like, get the fuck out of here. But nobody was like, I mean, I did have a guy drive by in a Cadillac and say, fucking white boy, you're dead if you stick around here very long. But
it tends to happen.
What's that?
It tends to happen.
Yeah, but I kept my shit together, but I was like, oh man, man, my mom knew I was here, she wouldn't be happy with me, you know what I mean? And in those days, New York was a pretty dangerous place, and I don't know what it's like anymore. But I was just wondering, like, I wasn't like, oh, there's a group of black guys. I was like, oh, there's a fucking group of dudes with nothing better to do who look like trouble. My thing wasn't, oh, there's a bunch of black guys. You know, like, I don't know. They merge, that shit merges a little bit in your spirit. And I've always tried to be like, no, it's just dudes hanging out. Fucking, don't be a gazelle, be a wolf. Eyeball, you know, like, say hi to everybody, get eyeballs on them, you know, and let them know that you respect. I mean, like, how to handle myself. Like, I've been in jail before, too, and it was kind of the same fucking way. It was like, let me handle this the right way, or, you know, I don't, yeah. I want to be able to take a nap tonight. So, you know, does that ever, or are you totally comfortable rolling through a bunch of guys that, you know, are maybe up to no good?
I'm comfortable going through any group of people, honestly, believe it or not, because the same situation applies. I mean, I show a mutual respect to a degree. You know, I'm not going to be afraid to walk up to any group of people, no matter who they are, what color they are, I mean, or what they're doing, despite, I mean, unless it's obvious, just apparent danger, just walking right into it.
You talk differently?
No, believe it or not, I don't. And I catch a lot of shit from that, from a lot of other people, and it has
a lot of black guys.
It has led to some issues from black guys. I mean, other black guys, other. I have a wide variety of friends. I mean, a very broad spectrum of friends who say some pretty awkward things sometimes. Sometimes you have to bring it back down to them and break it down. Like one of the most common things I get is, oh man, like people, hey, I got this friend, you know, he's probably the most white black guy you ever meet. You'll love him. And I'm like, you know, it's all fun and dandy. You know,
it's a weird thing to say.
It's a weird thing to say. It's almost like it's unbecoming of a black person to be well spoken or poised, or like is it only. And, well, I didn't mean it that way. I said, well, you know, when you say it that way, that's how it kind of perceives as, wow, like, look at this guy or everyone else is subpar to him because he's, you know, more well-spoken, he's more educated.
It's so funny you say that because I felt that about Obama the whole time he was president. I felt like everyone said what a great orator he was. Like, he's like, Democrats and white people were, like, guffawing over him. I was actually mad about it a little bit because I was sitting there going, I wrestle with all this shit. I mean, all this shit's coming at me, and because I'm very politically aware, and I try to be engaged, and I don't want anyone feeling left behind by our culture. And there's a whole group of black Americans that's been left behind somehow. And is it chicken and the egg? What's going on? Is it the group? Is it the culture within the group? Is it everyone else with their thumb on the scale? What's going on? Is it a little bit of everything? You know, that's always running through my head. And I heard people, if you turn the screen off and you don't know it's Obama, I'm sitting there going, spit it the fuck out, man, because he's really big on 3 words at a time. He does like 3 words with a pause, 3 words with a pause, 3 words with a pause. And then when he gets around black people, he tries to talk like a minister.
I have realized that.
If you listen, it's fucking weird. And I'm not judging, I almost feel like he's trying to black himself up when he's around black people. Like, for instance, when he went to the church shooting down in,
Charleston.
was that in Charleston, right?
It's my hometown.
Right.
Charleston. We were just talking about that.
When he went and did the thing at the church, and I think he sang Amazing, that was the one where he started in with Amazing Grace.
Indeed.
Hey, listen, it was a poignant moment. It's a serious thing for a president to show up for. It's a horrible thing that happened, but he talked differently there. But he sounded like a white guy trying to talk like a black guy, which is so weird to me.
He, for lack of better terms, just used his blackness to appeal to the masses at that moment. I mean, it's almost like be all things to all people, and I don't really believe in that. I've always taken pride in being who I was. I mean, skateboarder, longboarder. I mean, well-spoken. Anywhere I go, I take pride in that because, like, you know, how it goes back to your family. If my mother was here, how would she view me talking like this, and vice versa? And the thing is that sometimes you'll get shit for it. And I mean, I've seen people get, and I'd be wrong if I said I haven't given people shit before for it growing up, but people respect that more. And when you say, you know what, yeah, this is how I talk, and this is where I'm from and how I am. Oh man, come on, you know what? Well, I mean, I could act out and be a little bit different if you wanted me to. We can take it way back and be that way, but there'd be no point in it.
I've had it dropped to me in the opposite. So I've had guys do their black guy interview voice on the phone. Now you laugh. I made this joke, like, you know, the dude's mom's in the background, and just like, who's you talking to? Was that an interview? And like, well, yeah, because I hear the guy on the phone, but I'll hear something. You know, I've got a real ear for language, and I'll hear him like, oh, that guy. I go, you know, I'm like, oh, I think that was a black guy on the phone, and then I meet him, totally different voice. I've hired a few other guys, and their voice changes through the 3 stages they know me. Pre-interview stage, they've got their super white voice, they've got their best white voice on. And then the interview is, the white voice with a little bit drops in. Like they relax a little bit, like, oh, this dude just dropped the F-bomb, I can kind of be real. Okay? What are you laughing at?
It's true, I've seen it.
Yeah. And then the 3rd stage is they're working here now, and I'll come walking in the room, and I'll hear some shit being said, and I'm like, and then the last stage is before they get ready to quit or before they don't come back, their language is totally different. And I think when they reach the I don't give a fuck phase, they'll talk with their natural diction or whatever. So anyways, I've noticed it. I'm like, you know, it's kind of fascinating to me, which is the presumption is you're a racist. If I sound like I'm black, you won't hire me, so I'm going to put my white guy voice on. I mean, we've got all these dimensions of race clashing into each other non-fucking stop.
We do, and one of the conversations we had this weekend that was actually a really good conversation on the same topic, was that it's almost like Americans of all ages from maybe a couple of decades back have almost been groomed for. And not groomed in a malicious way, but just what they've been exposed to.
No, like we were set up for.
Yeah, what they're exposed to in the 90s and what they were exposed to right after. And I mean, a lot of these things were just the norm a couple of years ago. So now they're trying to face all these problems up front. It becomes, like you said, there's 1 or 2 ways to handle it. You can handle it as, well, this is the way I view it, and, you know, I'm fine, and this is my view, and that's great. When that doesn't fix anything. It kind of just divides the issue, and it kind of just separates yourself from the actual issue. Actual issue of speaking about it. Yeah. So it's almost, when you take a step back, it's nice to look at it, and you can take some of the stress, I guess, and be relieved that it's not always everyone's fault. It's not how they are. It's a lot of things were norm or just they were pre-exposed to, a couple of years ago or decades ago, and now we're just seeing the results of all of it happening together. Because
I see that, but I also see political correctness I don't know how you feel about political correctness, but I'm very anti-political correct. I'm like, I think political correctness is a way of lying, and it's a way of suppressing you expressing. My feelings matter more than you saying the truth. You shouldn't say that. And let's fucking hear it. Let's hear it right up front. I've always felt like, how do we move forward as a group of people if we're not willing to have uncomfortable conversations and maybe take away something from it, even if it's understanding. I wonder what I could gain, and I wonder what some guy from a disadvantaged kind of, it's hip to be gangsta, everyone says it, it's in the vernacular. I wonder what that guy could gain from the three of us talking. And I wonder, like, is it just a bunch of white guy bullshit, or would a guy, do they turn down the gangsta and I won't sound, everything I say sounds, but
go for it.
No, but would they, you seem like a guy who can walk through the strata of America and have whatever success you want. If you want to be a high-level craftsman in a white guy Bubba world, I think you can do it really easily. And I wish, with all the things that you have to deal with that necessarily maybe I don't have to deal with, I wish that all young black men could feel like they could shift into any strata of society they want and be pretty accepted.
Yeah, you make a great point there, because being the age I am and being out and being pretty social, I meet a lot of...
being what?
Social.
Did you say H-I-M?
What?
What the fuck is that?
I didn't say H-I-M.
Oh, I thought you said being...
I said just being young and social and going out,
okay.
The
H-I-M. You said the H-I-M. I was like, being him. Who's him?
No, the age that I am when I go out.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's kind of a bittersweet thing. It's happened so much. I've become almost numb to it. I meet other black men my age or around my age, and I talk to them about what they do, and it's almost upsetting sometimes that they're like, oh, like, what do you do? And, besides this, I'm a motorcycle mechanic. I have been for a long time, and that's my certified field, and that's my professional field. And I was in the Marine Corps. Oh man, it's crazy to see a white guy be a race mechanic or race AMA or ride Harleys, and they're flabbergasted about it. And they're
right.
like,
so their preconceptions are holding their thinking back.
And it is. It's almost like a mental prison that's been in place. Like yesterday when I bombed a hill, this dude saw me. Oh, dude, I'd never seen a black guy fucking longboard ever, man. That's fucking rad.
Which is so racist, and thank you.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird.
And we talked about it, and to backtrack on what you said before, a lot of people do feel that way. Well, let's talk about it. But then, if you say, hey, let's talk about this on a very real level of racism, and let me tell you what it's like from my point of view, so you can understand, and so you can have. And it's not that I want the pity, it's so you can maybe have an idea. So the next time down the road, when you see somebody going through something in the news, anything that just kind of intertwines with, because it's always in the news nowadays. To be real,
we can see somebody's other side of something outside of our own myopic perspective. There's a chance to move the needle with people.
Yeah, and there is, and I can say just recently the conversation was, well, I don't know who Trayvon Martin is. How long you lived in America for? My whole life, All right, so I guess it doesn't apply to you because I guess it wouldn't be. Well, the guy, Zimmerman, yeah, I know who Zimmerman is. No, I said you know.
That's because it applies to him.
Yeah,
because it was a Mexican guy you're talking to.
Yep. So,
right.
Well, who was Trayvon Martin? Oh, I have no idea who he was, and we talked about it. So. When it gets to that point of, okay, well, let me tell you what it's like to, how would you feel if someone killed your animals, chopped them up, and then put the blood on your house, and then wrote it in the blood, move the fuck out niggers and all this shit.
That sounds like some planned stuff.
Oh, dude, that sounds shitty. Have you experienced racism before? Absolutely. Just that that's just one occasion.
Is that a Klan thing, South Carolina?
It is. That wasn't. I've been spit on and called a nigger at the bus stop. I've had women say, "Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. You're a great person. It's my family." And after a while, it gets to be not an issue, But when people, you know, say, well, what's it like? I mean, you want to tell them, you really, really tell them what it's like.
Yeah,
you know?
it's like a fucking anvil hanging over my head, motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean,
really?
And it's like, well, I mean, they're like, look, it's not that bad. I mean, it's kind of going away. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it is, but...
Except you can sweep out of nowhere and chop your head off.
It is, and then they're like, well, when you go out, how's it feel? You know, I go to a bar. I might go to a bar in the middle of the day, and I'm in Arizona. I go to a pub. I go to a pub in the middle of the day, you know, about 1 o'clock on like a Saturday. Guarantee I'm going to be the only black guy there. Whichever few I walk into, everyone's going to look at me weird. I'm going to get, everyone's, you know, I walk by, people look both times, and like they got to see, like, you know, it can be frustrating. But
all right, let me ask you one other question.
Go for it.
I'm sorry, we could talk about this forever, and I got to wrap up here. If I were a black guy, I'd think about this shit. Like, how would I handle this, or what would I do differently, and what would I think? I try to put myself in someone else's shoes when I'm thinking about things, you know what I mean? I try not to just see it from, you know, 50-year-old white guy perspective. I would be fucking pissed at other people in my identified group who were fucking acting wrong, and I was having to pay the price for it. Does that come across your mind ever?
It does. It does a lot.
Okay.
I mean, because the vast majority of the issues that come into play with racism, a lot of the times the issues are very real, and it sucks when a few ruin it for many.
Mm-hmm.
But it's even worse when the many have no, you know, no idea or no real way to go around it. It's almost like being a victim of the circumstances that they're in.
I know, and it's definitely a chicken and the egg, and I hope we're all working to work on it. Well, it's a pleasure having you here. I appreciate you opening up your heart and chatting with us. And for all you knife guys, you just got to deal with it a little bit. Are you crashing on my video?
I'm totally crashing on you. It's 3:20 and we have a birthday cake for Samantha, and she was like,
We're going to do it. I'm just going to wrap up the video here right now, okay?
crashing it.
All right, you want to come in and say hi to everybody?
Is this it? Am I
Yeah. All right, thanks, baby. All right. First live show. Pleasure coming in and chatting with you. Good having you here, Semper Fidelis.
Always. Semper.
Well, you guys, we're not just making knives here. We're connecting as human beings, and it's a life that we're all living together. And I hope in some small way, us being willing to have the conversation makes you willing to have a conversation. And thanks for supporting. Thanks for watching. And know that behind the scenes, or behind what you think may be bravado, or behind what you think is a bunch of Bubba and redneck, there's a lot of thoughtful human beings all really trying to work together and do the best and treat each other well and make a bitchin' product for you guys, and we're all really focused on that. Stick around. We're gonna wrap up here right now. Stick around for the shop tour video, which is coming through here. You can kick it on in the background and listen if you like. I'm gonna remind you really quick, medfordknife.com, medforduniversity.com, YouTube, Medford Knife, Facebook, Medford Knife, Instagram, Medford Knife. Reach out, stay high, stay connected, and Billy, it's over to you. Show the tour!
Clearly, if anyone went on that factory tour, they would be as amazed as I was. Would not believe how much work goes into each individual knife.
The Centurion program was a structured way to invite friends of the shop in, people that want to know more about us, people that want to know more about what we do or connect with us because maybe they've watched the videos and they want to see if it's real. You know what we want to do is we want to kind of blow them away with camaraderie. We want to blow them away with friendship, and we want to connect with them. It's not really about selling knives. It's about selling a belief system and a value system. And when we connect with people that way, there's no sales pitch required. It's authentic. They get to know us. We get to know them, and then what happens is, what's transformative about it, I think, is the get-togethers. So now we've done this a couple of times, and we send out we hoist the flag, so to speak. We hoist up the skull and crossbones. Hey guys, we're gonna be a Blade show. Anybody who's coming? And so our first gathering, we had a small number of folks. We had almost that many people come to the dinner. So we're sitting at the dinner with these Centurion members, and everybody's breaking bread, and everybody's talking about jobs and professions and families, and they know each other. And now, it's not taking a day or two away from your wife and your kids to go to a knife show. it's meeting up with people you know and kind of having a social connection where it all starts to come together. And that's really, you know, that's to me the most interesting and exciting part of the entire Centurion program is the social connection. So now these guys, they show up to a knife show, they show up to the show in California or the show in Atlanta or the show in Oregon or the show in Las Vegas, and they're not one dude walking around trying to connect and say hi to a bunch of knife makers. They've got a knife maker who's a friend and a bunch of like-minded guys they've met before, and then they all troop around like a bunch of friends who've all met up. It's almost like a reunion. So it makes it a lovely, fun environment, and I think it gives us the kind of deep brand connection that over the course of 50 years makes a company, makes a brand, and can change the world a little tiny bit. And that was the whole kind of zeitgeist behind putting it together and going through the effort.